Hi again, I'm Mark. Probably remember from the last video, sat in the same place, doing the same thing. First of all, big thanks to everybody who's given anything to the crowdfunder so far. It's been a massive success on many different levels, and it's far from being just the money. It's been great. People have sent us plants, brought plants in, brought trees in. It's rarely a Sunday goes by and Marsha doesn't do the vegan Sunday roasts when somebody doesn't show up with a pot with a plant in it and says this is for the garden. So yeah, it's really come a long way, and it's not just all about the money and everything. It's just about the involvement and people being interested in things. So what we've all learned since lockdown and through lockdown is that what we thought was really important before wasn't quite as important as we thought it was, and we've really felt like a lot of people have been reaching out looking for something else, even more than they were previously, and I like to think that we can sort of help people step onto that ladder somewhere or get into that, because it must be hard when if you're sitting at home and you're isolated and everything and wonder what can I do, what could I possibly do to make a difference. And I just like encourage people to have a go, see what you can do. So we're going to walk around, we're going to look at a few things that we've done. Some other people, Josh and Marta and everyone, are going to tell you about their involvement in it and what people are bringing to the place, what the place is bringing to other people. And I hope you enjoy it.
My name's Josh, and I've recently become the gardener here at Rockaway Community Forest Garden. I've got some lovely volunteers behind me that are here to help. We're currently running regular volunteer sessions every week, where we're getting stuck in with all the tasks that are necessary to build a community forest garden, which turns out there are quite a lot of tasks. I arrived to it in a really cool shape actually. We've just planted, or the guys that were here before me planted lots of fruit trees. We've got lots of apples and pears and figs and quinces and plums and all sorts. So that's a really exciting part about starting a forest garden, is getting the trees in. We'd hope to get more in as well. We're coming up to autumn and winter, which is the time to be planting more trees. And when we get our trees in, you expand from there. So yeah, it's a very exciting phase. Behind me we've got our new Veg Patch, which was again ready and waiting, full of beautiful produce when I started, and we're carrying that on now, getting it ready to get us through the winter before we plant lots more lovely things next year. So, photogenic.
So, hugely thanks to very generous donation we've received since we last checked in. We got loads of seeds and plants and little bushes. We managed to expand the garden this summer, and we've grown some amazing crops, some of which you can see here. And a lot of it we have used in our vegan cafe, which has expanded over the summer as well. We started doing vegan roasts every Sunday, and at the height of it we got like 160 orders in one day, which was quite an achievement. And the more we grow here, the more we can use in the cafe, the more satisfying and beautiful it is. So thank you so much for your amazing donations.
So this is a bit we've been working on for the last few weeks, trying to obviously in the summer, and everything just grows like crazy, and it all ended up to neck deep in bramble and what have you. We're clearing back through here again so that we can start to construct the compost bins and the stores for wood and tools and what have you along this edge here, which is the road edge, probably the furthest from Rockaway itself part of the whole place. And in the distance there we can see the old the old oak tree that had to be really heavily pruned just before we made the last video, and it looked like Armageddon, and it had all been chopped down, and there was just branches everywhere. And as you can see, it's come back to life. It's all the leaves are pouring out of it every chat. In fact, it's completely swallowed by leaves.
So this is our no dig veg area, which was built over the winter last year, and it's just finished its season of bounty. So we're just clearing some weeds, and we're going to sow a green manure, which is going to protect our soil over the winter before we add some more compost and grow some more veg. So it's all about taking care of the soil.
So these are mustard leaves, and you use them as salad leaves. They have a very peppery taste, so they're lovely being added to salads. And they've been sown quite late, only probably like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's October now, so they're doing amazing. And here we have very healthy looking dill and Swiss chard, and a huge crop of nasturtiums, which I'm using all the time as well in salads. And they've been here for a few years, so now they just self-seed really, which is very handy. And they're beautiful, and they last until the frost really. Well, late crop of raspberries, which I'm enjoying every morning for my breakfast. And here we have a bit more Swiss chard, which needs to be protected from the deer eating it. And they find even like the smallest gaps, and they still eat it. But hopefully, sometimes you get to it first before they do it. Not always.
This is like the lower point of the whole site, and from here we're on a 45-degree hill back up to where the yard is, where Rockaway itself is, and this was like a virtually worthless bit of agricultural land when I acquired it, because you can't function in here with a tractor or any mechanical stuff. It doesn't really work. It's miles too steep and it just fall down. So we've cleared this old access. The access has been there for years and was probably there from back when it was all quarries along here, and it would have been used for getting stone in and out or whatever. But we've cleared it all back, and we've put a bit of hardcore in the drive so that you can just about get up and down here now in a car, so that anyone who's got mobility issues or anything the garden has to be accessible to everybody, otherwise it's not worth doing at all. So now you can get up here and you can get back out, and we're gradually levelling off the bit, as I spoke about already. We're levelling off the bit that runs down in that direction to where they're already planting in the corner. Also looking up from here is the footpath to the right hand side, which goes up and joins the farmer's field at the top, and which then continues around Rockaway and comes back around. It's quite a long route, you could walk all the way around. And it's really nice that the footpath's there, because it means that it makes it not only accessible, but you have to access it, and hopefully we can draw people in off the footpath to join in with the garden project.
Gardening is traditionally seen as quite a white middle class thing, and we're trying to reevaluate that here and reevaluate what a community garden looks like in this day and age and in this political landscape. And we're throwing our doors wide open and welcoming folks in to come and show us what that looks like and how it's done. And for me, that's a really exciting thing as a grower.
These are some salad leaves that our great head gardener, who started a couple months ago, brought us in the spring, and I loved them so much, and they lasted so long. It was the best salad leaves that we've ever had, and everybody loved them. So we just planted them again, hoping that we get another crop this season, and they're doing great. So there'll be more salads to be had in the vegan cafe next door. So one of our volunteers got very optimistic, and even though it's October, she decided that we're still gonna get a great crop of beans. So we planted them in, and we'll see what happens. These are garlics that she just got at the health food shop. So the thing with the bought garlic is when you buy it in a supermarket, it's sprayed with chemicals so it doesn't sprout. But the organic garlic that you get sprouts pretty quickly if you don't use it. So even though you can't use the garlic for cooking, you can put the sprouts in the ground and you still get a crop of garlic, and it'll last over the winter and you'll be ready to eat next season.
Yes, the land slopes off and drops away like that, and then there's probably like 3 or 4 meters down to the road. So what we're going to try and do is take a bit of the earth from this side and put it onto this side, and then make retaining walls over here, so a lot more of that can be cultivated. And up here these are some walnut trees we planted a couple of years ago, which are finally starting to look at home. Every year, like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of leaves fall on the yard, and we have to sweep them all up. And I push them all with the front of the forklift into big, massive piles, and then they compost effectively, and we end up with this big piles of dirt, which I've then been scraping up from the yard and bringing around here in a tipper and tipping it here to help build up that bank as well. But it should be all nice, really rich soil, because it's all basically leaves that fell.
So we have late crop of salad leaves, pak choy, which is delicious and crunchy in stir fries and any Asian food, which I eat every day. And one of the projects we'd like to work on during the winter is setting up a water harvesting system. We have a lot of roof that we can collect the water from, and we'd like to pipe it all up to the garden, so we have lots of fresh rainwater that we can use in the summer for the garden. And another project we'd like to do over the winter is create compost bins for food waste and garden waste that could be accessed by anyone from community or anybody around here, that we can also use the compost from which we can use in the garden, but also as a way of engaging the local community into our project, and sort of from showing them what we do and inviting them in and taking an interest. We have already put some rainwater system pipes, so we have access to rainwater in this bit going all the way to the end. And the next stage would be to expand the water harvesting system to the rest of the garden, especially going down the bottom where we're making more raised beds for fruit and veg crops, and to the top end as well. So that will be part of the next stage.
What we're trying to do here essentially is offer the space that we've got to the community. We're learning as a society, I think, how important it is to be outside and to have a connection to nature and connection to food and have a connection to each other and a connection to the land, and that's really what we're all about. It's never felt more pertinent now, particularly around issues with access to land and land rights and trespass and all these issues that are becoming more and more hard won and hard fought for, that we follow through and offer the space that we've got for a beautiful holistic thing, which is what we think we're doing here. Yeah, so it's about offering the space to anyone who wants to come and get involved, any skill level, any interest level, any time commitment. They can come here to learn, they can come here to hang out in a beautiful place, they can come here to connect with one another, to eat the delicious food that is cooked in our cafe that's grown here, to take a bit of land on for themselves maybe, or if they can't come along in person, maybe they can chuck us a tenner, you know, that can go towards planting some trees, or providing some space for a local community group to come and have some outdoor space.
It's following on from a lot of the things that we've been doing since we last saw you, and the courses that we've been already running, as I mentioned. We're looking, as this space develops, we can do far more in the way of foraging courses, or woodcraft, or forest schooling type. I mean, you think of it, we're happy to go with it. And if anybody's got any ideas of any course or anything they'd like to run, anything, you know, teach people about solar energy, teach people about wind. It goes on and on and on, and we've got space and we've got time and we've got an interest in pursuing these things and helping you to pursue them if that's what you want to do.
The idea of what you're doing, what we're trying to achieve, you have love of food, love of gardening, being outdoors, getting dirty, then please drop us a line, get in touch. If you have any skills you'd like to share or offer, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line, we'll get back to you.
So any and all donations to our crowdfunder will go on planting fruit trees. As we look forward to the autumn and the winter, it's really time to get them in and get them planted. So if people want to help towards us building a beautiful garden, then give us some money and we'll plant a tree for you.
So yeah, we often get asked about, like, what's it all about? What is it you're trying to achieve? What are you doing? What does all this mean? And there's no straightforward or simple answer to it. And I really wish I could apply myself to sit down and write all this out, so I didn't have to repeat myself constantly. But I just believe that there's got to be something different. There's got to be something better. There's got to be something else. And the amount of people who come here and wander through and just go, oh my God, wow, and they're just looking at a pile of old junk in the corner, and it doesn't make any sense at all, really. But for some reason, it makes more sense than most things. Yeah, what we try and do is be some tiny beacon of hope in such a bloody mess. And you know, it can't be all we've got. It can't be everything. There must be more to life than this nonsense. And I suppose we're trying to find it.